Hi, I'm John Tillotson, and you're here at Right Angle Creek Farm in the town of Lapeer in Cortland County. Today I'm going to show you around my farm. In 2006, my wife and I had the opportunity to buy this property. It was formerly a dairy farm for many years that had been vacant. And so I kept starting to think about what would be some ways to get back into agriculture. And I obviously did not want to get back into dairy with a full-time job off the farm. So I talked with New York FarmNet consultants, and they suggested I think about doing beef because I still had an interest in being around cattle and working with cattle. So we bought the farm in 2006, and it took about 10 years to develop the plan. In 2016, we officially began Right Angle Creek Farm. The name of the farm comes from the fact that Big Brook travels down the west end of our property, makes a 90-degree turn, and then follows the southern border of the property. I raise Angus beef cattle. I do what's called backgrounding. I buy feeder calves in the spring, pasture them all summer and fall, and then I feed them out through the winter months and harvest them in the spring when I sell freezer beef to my customers.
We worked with John on developing a prescribed rotational grazing plan and then implemented that plan by installing a prescribed grazing management system, riparian forest buffer system, and wetland enhancements.
So when I bought this farm, my wife and I had an interest in someday returning to agriculture. And so looking at the resources we had on the farm, one of the most important pieces to us was that we had this beautiful wetland area here that was a place where waterfowl and the beavers and all the wildlife really were using this resource. So it was important to us that any farm project that we did preserve and protect this piece of the farm, this wetland area. And so part of our effort in doing this fence project was to figure out a way that we could protect the wetland area, develop a bigger buffer area here through the tree planting process that would protect this, and still at the end of the day allow us to expand our farm operation in a way that we felt was both environmentally conscious and helping us be good stewards of the environment.
John approached the district with an interest in expanding his grazing system. So we worked through the AEM framework, Agricultural Environmental Management, to assess the farm from a natural resource perspective and farm management perspective. We noticed that there was this beautiful wetland and that there was probably an opportunity to enhance the wetland and create a buffer with any type of project that John might be interested in. We ended up doing a prescribed grazing management plan for the farm, which would allow the farm to expand its grazing. After the grazing plan was complete, we applied for funding and we were able to get a project that enhanced the wetlands and installed 4.7 acres of buffer plantings across John's property. We partnered with the USC Wetland team for the planting, along with John and his family, who planted about 2/3 of the buffer acreage. Additionally, we installed 30.1 acres of prescribed rotational grazing, and the project included installation of over 4,100 feet of high tensile fence, including 2,100 feet of livestock exclusion fencing cows out of the stream. Alternative water supply development included upgrading a shallow well pump, 1,300 feet of buried pipeline, a winter waterer, and multiple trough hookups.
Part of the reason why the fence project was important to me on the farm was that I wanted to be able to expand my grazing capacity, to be able to grow my operation over time. But also I was sensitive to the fact that with the current pasture availability I had, I was running into a potential overgrazing situation. So when I approached Sean at Soil and Water Conservation, they worked with me to develop a plan where we could get fencing put around the additional 25 acres behind my farm that would allow me to now have more grazing potential, have the ability to better manage my hay production, my hay purchasing to feed my cattle, and also do it in a way that would allow me to still protect the wetland buffer. And so the fence project was partly economic in that it helped me grow my farm business, but I also did it in a way that was environmentally responsible and allowed me to better manage the grazing operation that I have for my beef cattle. My experience working with the Cortland County Soil and Water Conservation District has been really excellent. Sean Murphy's been a key collaborator from the beginning, helping design my prescribed grazing management plan, and then more recently developing the riparian forest buffer plan and designing the grazing system expansion project. I've really enjoyed the collaboration, and it's been very important to the success of this project.